Oh, hello. Okay, so I'm kind of going into this podcast blind. Usually, what I do is throughout the week, I keep a list of things that I want to talk about on the podcast, and when I see something cool on the board that I want to mention, I add it to the list. This week, the number of things I have seen on the board that have interested me was one, give or take, less. So, no list this week because the board has sucked. Now, when I first started doing this podcast, a lot of people said they liked it because it was so positive, and that's because the board was fun when I started this podcast. Now it sucks. This week especially has been crap. I've barely posted because it just hasn't been worth it. There's just nothing that has interested me. And I'm sorry for being so negative, but it's the truth, okay? The board sucks. It seems at the moment, it's not too bad today, but like in the middle of the week, it seemed that it was like 5 or 6 people who were intentionally or unintentionally just monopolizing the board. Like every post was by one of these few people. And I mean, kudos for, really getting into things and posting a lot of threads, but 90% of the threads were just absolute crap, which are probably only interesting or amusing to like 3 people. And that's why everyone gets like bored of the place, because like the regulars can't be bothered because there's nothing that interests them. The ancients got bored of the place a long time ago. And the new people are scared to post because when they do, they either get no responses or lots of really mean responses from these, trolls come regulars. And it's just, it really pisses me off. And like I said, I'm sorry to be so negative, but it's true, okay? So this week, I'm not going to talk about the board in its current state. I'm going to talk about a few things that happened back when the board was fun. Okay, so all these ancients, you might appreciate this. New people, I'm sorry if you weren't around for these things, but maybe, give it a listen anyway and take it as proof that the board wasn't always so crap and that once upon a time it was a fun place to be, guys. So, where shall I start? Team Jean. Who remembers Team Jean? Oh, good times, huh? Basically, it was this girl that came to the board, and I think she made a thread about how she didn't get Twilight, she didn't see what all the fuss was about, and she said something like, and you're all just talking about whether you're Team Jacob or Team Jean, and everyone was like, what the hell is Team Jean? Jean? Where did that come from? So that started up like a big craze of Team Jean, and it was pretty funny. Someone started like a fan club for it or something, and that was pretty hilarious for a couple of weeks. What else did we have? There was the whole thing during the casting process. It was like at the beginning of this year, so January or February. And basically we knew that that Summit had finished casting the film, but they weren't telling us who they had cast. That we knew that Robert was Edward and Kristen was Bella, but apart from that we didn't know anything. And that brought about the whole cast versus casted debate. People were coming on saying, has the movie been casted yet? And everyone was like, casted is not a word, it's cast. Cast. Look it up, please. Anyway, the whole casting saga, it got to the point where we were so desperate to know who had been cast that people were ringing up the casting agency and pretending to be like reporters with MTV or whatever, saying they were writing articles on film and they needed to know who was playing which characters. It was so funny, and it got to the point where the people at the casting agency were just hanging up as soon as the caller mentioned Twilight. They must have got so annoyed with us. And then, it's a bit more recent, but before Breaking Dawn was released, there were a lot of people coming to the board and saying that chapters had been leaked, and there were so many fake pages floating around. And then, of course, this chapter appeared, and everyone was like, yeah, it's the real deal, I've seen it, I work at the store and we got the book or whatever, and everyone was reading this chapter and saying, no, that's not it, that's crap, that reads like badly written fan fiction, it sucks. And it was the real first chapter of Breaking Dawn. I guess we should have seen it coming. So anyway, there's a little blast from the past for you guys. I can't really think of much else to say apart from I am sorry for being negative. and I'm sorry if you're listening to this and you really love the board at the moment, but I kind of hate it. So I'm going to carry on doing the podcasts just because it's something to do on a Sunday afternoon. But, I mean, if the board still sucks next week, then the podcast is probably going to be similar next week, i.e. me bitching about twIMDb. But, I mean, if you agree with me, let me know. If you disagree with me, let me know, because at least it'll give us something to discuss, right? Any other news I can think of? Oh, actually, yes. Gemma has set up another alternative, twIMDb forum. It's for, 18 to 25, or 16 to 25, or something. Anyway, sorry, Gemma, I can't recall the exact details off the top of my head, but it sounds like it's going to be pretty good once people get signed up, so I'll put the link in the sidebar as per usual. So, check that out, see if you like the look of that. And I think for Gemma's efforts on that, she gets twIMDber of the week this week, so well done, Gemma. Right, okay, I'm going to give the board a chance. I'm going to go on the board now and try and pick out a couple of threads that look interesting. Let's have a look. I'm trying. Oh, it's someone's birthday. Happy birthday, Cartoon Motion. She's 16 today. I'm assuming you're a girl, but yeah, happy birthday. Paramore, Decode, Twilight's lead soundtrack single. I haven't heard this. I knew that Paramore were having a song on the soundtrack, but it looks like someone's got a hold of the song. Let me have a listen in a second. Okay, it says it's bad quality, so just bear with me 1 second. 11 seconds in and my ears are already bleeding. That is just noise. I mean, I know it's bad quality, but still, let me skip ahead a couple of minutes and see if it gets better. It doesn't. I'm sorry if you're a fan of Paramore, but that's kind of crappy. No, okay, to be honest, it's just not my kind of music. Okay, I'm sorry, I get that a lot of people like Paramore, but it's not really my kind of music. But who am I to judge? Any other threads that are interesting? Met Robert Pattinson lookalike. How nice. Lucky you. I can't watch embarrassing moments in movies. I know what you mean. That is by Purple Chick. Okay, that is pretty much it. I think there are a couple of other threads that look cool, but I think we'll leave it there for today. So, thank you for listening. Kudos if you've stuck it out this far, and let's pray that the board can somehow come back to life and dig itself out of the 6 feet of crap it's currently buried under. It's possible. I've seen it happen. Bye.